Well, Matt, 3 points today. Difficult performance though, but we got there in the end. How was your afternoon?
Yeah, I think it's a really positive win. Probably one of them wins that feel better than we could have made it. I think we were definitely sloppy at times and did make it difficult for ourselves. But we just talked in there. Good teams kind of make the best of if we're playing well or not playing well. Coming out with 3 points was massive, especially after conceding. A lot of teams you can see fold under that pressure, but I think we dealt with that really well when we were a bit off it, and obviously come back with 2 goals to put the game to bed.
A lot of similarities to the Tranmere Rovers performance in the fact that the first half was what it was. We went in 1-0 up, but in the second half they really came out and really had the momentum. But we, apart from the early equaliser, we did do a decent job of trying to take the sting out of it.
We talked about that a lot last week, that obviously ideally we're going to be more clinical. We had a lot of shots we put up on the board over the last couple of games. We had probably the most shots in the league, so it's being more clinical and putting teams to bed and putting games to bed a bit earlier, because we know all teams in this level have threats. They're going to cause periods of the game where they're going to be on top. We're going to have to ride our luck at times, so if we can be more clinical, that's great, but if not, then defend like we did in parts of it, ride that storm and know that we're going to come strong again. You see the squad that we've got, people coming off the bench have made an impact for the last 2 games, so we know going into the last stages then we need to be in games by that point.
Yeah, because the other thing says as well, I mean Shrewsbury are where they are in the league table, but when you look at the personnel and their CVs, this is a good team that we've beaten us.
Yeah, 100%. They caused us some real threats. We spent a long time this week trying to figure out how we're going to combat what they do. They do it quite differently in the first half. They had a lot of bodies up front on the kind of top line, if you like. So we spent a lot of time this week trying to deal with that, and obviously changing the second half. It took us a little bit of time to adapt. Obviously conceding might have helped in the long run because it kind of kicked us into gear a little bit to finish the game how we did.
And what was the battle like in midfield today for yourself? I mean, we put you down as a nominee for man of the match, and I think just that's really warranted. When you come down to pitch side, you notice how gusty it is. I mean, that is a factor.
Yeah. Thanks for saying that, because I don't want to make an excuse up. But yeah, no, that was definitely a factor. There was a few clearances in the first half that we probably tried to get too much purchase on and get a bit too aggressive with because of the wind, and that made us a bit sloppy at times with that. So it was a bit easier clearing the ball, getting up the pitch in the second half. And obviously they've moved the pitch in a little bit, so it was a little bit more narrow. So these are all things that you've got to kind of like get used to in the game. Really, you can't really get a feel for that until it kicks off.
But a bit like Tranmere, we've got some goal scorers in this team, and we've scored those 2 goals, and we've put the game to bed in the end. Yeah,
100%. I think if we can keep teams out of our end, we know, looking forward as a midfielder, you're thinking, we've got a chance of always scoring goals. We've got some really exciting lads in the dressing room that can create stuff out of nothing. So our job is just to get the ball to them as much as possible, and we know if they keep getting the ball, they're going to produce, sooner or later.
And just a closing message to the away fans today as well. I mean, they've cheered us over the line in the end.
Yeah, they were great. Really good actually, because obviously there was frustrating times, but I didn't feel like they ever kind of got too down, and then luckily towards the end of the game we managed to repay them with a couple of great goals and great moments celebrating at that end.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Matt, 3 points, and onwards to Swindon now.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Again, we've talked about a lot this season since I've been here. Momentum's so big in this league, and any team you come up against is going to cause some real threat. So this winning feeling, we've got to savour it, remember what this feeling feels like, and roll that on to next week, have a positive week's training to be in the best position for obviously Swindon.